Hi, I just got sent home from work because it was snowing outside. It was a bit annoying that I sat on a bus for an hour and a half to get to work, to then get sent home and sit on the bus again for another hour and a half, but I'm safe. So today I thought it would be a very good idea for me to assemble my Christmas tree. As you can tell by the box, I just chopped it down from the local forest. And as you can tell by the colour, it's, you know, a really natural tree. IKEA, hire me. Or don't, because I can't even do this properly. So as it's officially winter, I thought I'd make a video talking about random winter and Christmas memories. So, a good boy. There he is. They grow up so fast. This is a time. I don't know if it's a good or bad time, but it's a time. Is that efficient? Does that look like a tree? No. No, it does not. Are we gonna change it? No, we aren't. So I spent the first 12 years of my life in Midwestern America. I am obviously very acclimatized to the snow. It became tradition every single year for my family and I to build a snowman. As the snow would melt away each year, we'd take a tiny bit of the snowman inside and we'd put it in our freezer, and then we'd save it until next year, and then next year it'd snow and we'd take that bit out of the freezer again, and then we'd add that bit to the snowman. It was very sad when we moved back to the UK in summer and we just had to take this bag of snow out the freezer and put it outside and watch it melt. It was a bit heartbreaking, to be completely honest with you. You know, these things have to happen. The snow always has to melt, some could say. And by some, I mean me. The winter before I moved back to the UK, my friend Sydney and I started with this tiny snowball and we were rolling it around and around the circumference of my house. Is that the term? I haven't studied math in a while, but we rolled it around and around so many times, and we ended up, we couldn't push it any further, and we measured it, and this massive snowball was 4 feet tall. And bear in mind, I was 4'7" back then, so I was 7 inches taller than this massive snowball we made. I think that was a pretty big achievement. I remember as well, someone came around to my house and they were like, yeah, which house is yours? I was like, yeah, the one with the 4 foot tall snowball in front of it. Can't really miss it. I have just had the realization though that was in 2009 and I was like 4'7" or 8, and now it's 2017 and I'm only 5'2". I genuinely used to tell Santa, I'd be like, Santa, this year I want to grow. I mean, Santa honey, I'm still tiny, like, work your magic, I am waiting. On the topic of Santa, people at my work were talking about when their children stopped believing in Santa, and they were like, oh, you know, like 7, 10. Yeah, I was 12. I was 12 years old when I stopped believing in Santa. Oh my god, I hope I'm not ruining someone's Christmas. What if there's like a 5-year-old watching? Santa's real, just keep believing. I was the most gullible, no, let's be real, I'm still the most gullible person. I'm gullible, naive, and innocent. So if someone tells me a big, fat, bearded man is gonna show up in my house, he will show up. I believe it wholeheartedly. I remember though, I was sitting in math class one day, it was in year 8. I was sat at the front of the class thinking about Christmas, and then it just clicked. I was just thinking about Santa, and then I just went, oh my god, it's my parents. I don't know. I was 12 years old. By far my favorite Christmas decoration that I have ever received in my life is this magical boy right here. It won't stop ringing. I'm trying to talk, honey. Stop interrupting me. So it's a Christmas tradition each year to watch the Polar Express on Christmas Eve. It's something we've done ever since we were kids, and obviously this bad boy plays a big part in that movie, because I remember receiving it and it was like, it's the one from the film. Santa got it for me because he knows I love the film. Thanks, Santa. That means so much to me. So this little tiny boy goes on my tree every single year. In the Polar Express though, obviously they ring the bell, and if they stop hearing the sounds, then they don't believe in Santa anymore. And I'd find the bell every year and I'd be like, please Santa, I love you. I'm just gonna stop that story right now. Speaking of Christmas Eve traditions, we'd always go on the NORAD Santa tracker. And last year, out of curiosity, I went on the NORAD Santa tracker again, and it was like, oh, he's in Wales right now. And I was like, Santa, that's so upsetting, because I just wanted him to actually show up in my house, and He didn't. Honestly, why am I growing up? I'm not a fan. I always used to wonder as a kid though, because I'd see the NORAD Santa tracker, and my little kid brain always used to be interested in media and filming things, and like, I'd always be like, who is filming that? And why are they filming that and making him look like a cartoon? And also, speaking of the Polar Express as well, the song that's in it when Billy and the girl sing, every single year my brother and I sing that to my family. Is that weird? But we've done it ever since we were children, and I always remember my nanny, I think she passed away, I must have been about 6 or 7, but she'd been ill for my entire life, so I don't unfortunately have any memories of her when she's healthy. But I remember my mum filmed my brother and I singing When Christmas Comes to Town from the Polar Express on the massive camcorders that used to be around with the flip out screens, and she put her eye to it. I just remember it being filmed, and I remember us sitting my nanny down, and she couldn't see properly, and she just listened to it, and I just remember she started crying. And as a kid, I didn't understand the whole sentimental value of things like that, and I was like, does she really think I'm that bad? Why is she crying over my singing? But that's such a fond memory, and every single Christmas when we're watching it, my brother, who is now 22, is like, I'm not gonna sing, and then it comes on, and we're like harmonizing, we're belting it out, we're doing the hand gestures, we're in it. Right, so I've basically done this now, so let's put it into place. As you can tell, I struggled to put my tree in place for an embarrassingly large amount of time, and then between the takes I opened my advent calendar only to find that there was nothing behind the door. It was empty. So I was completely mugged off. Merry Christmas.